In the run-up to the general election last year, Rishi Sunak's government was in crisis. Leading a party after 14 years in power was never going to be easy, but following a number of gaffes on the campaign trail, it became clear that Sunak wasn't even fighting to remain Prime Minister. He was simply fighting to maintain the Conservative Party's existence. Sunak's government approval had slumped to minus 56% on the 1st of July, and mere days later, he was removed from office, securing the fewest seats for the Conservative Party in their history. For the newly elected Prime Minister Keir Starmer, things looked significantly more positive. At the election, he secured the second largest majority in his party's history. The government's approval rating had improved significantly, and there was a sense that perhaps the new Labour government could be a significant improvement on the previous Tory one. However, it's now become quite clear, more than a year in, that the vast majority of Britons are no longer this optimistic. Starmer's government approval has been slowly sinking and has, this week, gone all the way down to minus 56%, the same as Sunak mere days before last year's election. So in this video, we're going to have a look at Starmer's approval rating, how it slumped, and what he needs to do to recover. Never miss an episode and always feel in the loop by subscribing and ringing the bell. We'll start this video by providing a bit more context to that poll we mentioned in the intro. On Monday, YouGov released its latest government approval ratings, adding more data to something that observers already knew, that Starmer's government was becoming less and less popular as time went on. Only 13% of respondents said that they approved of the government, compared to 69% who said they disapproved, providing a net approval rating of minus 56%. As we mentioned earlier, this means that Starmer's government has the same net approval rating as Rishi Sunak's did 3 days before the election last year, with a 71% disapproval and 15% approval. Now, it is worth pointing out that this is not the lowest approval rating the Conservative government achieved in their time in office. The lowest Sunak's government approval got was minus 62% on the 24th of June 2024, a few weeks before the general election. And the lowest approval rating during the 14 years of Conservative government was on the 23rd of October 2023, a day before Liz Truss stepped down as Prime Minister. So Starmer's government is very unpopular, and it's fair to equate this to Sunak right before the election, but he's not yet as unpopular as Sunak or the Conservatives were at their lowest point during their tenure. So what's driving this dissatisfaction with the government? Well, polling from Ipsos Polling in June shows that a lot of this is driven by those who supported Labour at the last election. While other parties, such as Reform UK, have been able to keep a hold of their supporters, with Ipsos reporting that 95% of those who voted Reform continue to back them, a mere 32% of Labour voters claim that they would still vote for the party. Labour voters' abandonment of the party is also reflected in the approval polling. Even among those who voted Labour last year, YouGov reports that only 27% say they approve of the government, while 53% have said that they don't, giving a net approval rating of minus 26%. This has been gradually getting worse over the past few months. Starmer generally had a positive approval rating among Labour voters up until March this year. If the Labour Party can't even maintain its approval with its own voters, how can they expect to be popular with the electorate at large? With this in mind, let's dive a little deeper and have a look at where Labour's voters have gone and why they've abandoned their support of the party. In an article published at the beginning of June, Electoral Calculus and Find Out Now conducted polling looking into Labour defectors. Only a few weeks later, YouGov conducted a similar poll with a sample size of 10,000. Both of these came to a similar conclusion, that there are essentially two different groups of defectors to the Lib Dems and Greens, and defectors to Reform, and to a lesser extent the Conservatives. Of the former group, defectors to the Greens were more likely to be younger and were more likely to be women. Defectors to the Lib Dems were also more likely to be younger, but uniquely more likely to be educated to degree level. According to Electoral Calculus Find Out Now, 54% of defectors to the Greens and the Lib Dems suggest their reason for abandoning the party is a result of the party not being Labour enough. This is backed up by YouGov, who demonstrated that the top two reasons cited by defectors to both the Greens and the Lib Dems were that Labour are too right-wing, and that their new party is closer to their values. On top of that, defectors to the Greens also cite as their third and fourth top reasons Labour's stances on Gaza and transgender rights. Meanwhile, defectors to reform are more likely to be working class, more likely to have voted Leave in the Brexit referendum, and less likely to be educated to degree level. One of the big reasons for abandoning their support of Labour is because of immigration, with 62% of defectors to either Reform or the Tories suggesting that a failure to control immigration was one of the main reasons they switched. 44% of defectors to Reform also suggested that Labour breaking or not delivering on their promises was one of the main reasons for abandoning the party. Clearly then, there are different reasons for both groups abandoning the Labour Party. The question the Labour leadership will be asking themselves, though, is can either of these groups be won back? As part of their poll, YouGov asked Labour defectors whether they'd be likely to vote Labour again in the next election. For defectors to the Greens, 60% said they'd consider voting Labour again, and for defectors to the Lib Dems, 58% said this. However, for defectors to Reform, only 15% said they would. Clearly, there's a significant divide here. For the last few months, Labour has been desperately trying to figure out how to respond to their polling drop-off. It seems their solution has been to try and drag the party rightwards, in order to win back those who have now defected to Reform UK, for instance by tightening their immigration policies and Starmer's changing views towards trans rights. However, this might just be the wrong strategy. If only 15% of voters Labour have lost to Reform UK are open to the idea of voting Labour again, this could be viewed as something of a lost cause. Perhaps, instead, a better strategy would be for Labour to try and win back defectors to the Lib Dems or the Greens, both of which appear much more open to the possibility of returning to Labour. It's safe to say that if you're invested in topics such as these, then you're also passionate about challenging yourself through online learning. While we're here to help you with that, our sponsor this week, Brilliant, are experts at pushing your learning to the next level. That's because Brilliant is an incredibly thorough learning platform designed to be uniquely effective in how you build skills every day. Their vast library of topics, from science to AI, all feature a perfect mix of engaging problems, competitive features, and daily encouragement that keeps you motivated and on track. Brilliant helps build your critical thinking skills through problem solving, not just memorizing. So while you're building real knowledge on specific topics, you'll also be becoming a better thinker. For example, if you're looking to build your mathematical intuition, Brilliant is the best place to go. Their newly updated maths courses focused on the most useful, applicable maths concepts, so you never feel like you're wasting your time. You'll start at the perfect level and work your way up through interactive challenges that bring abstract concepts to life. Whether you're at home or on the go, you can level up your math skills wherever you are. To start your learning journey and try Brilliant for free, visit brilliant.org/TLDR, scan the QR code on screen, or you can click the link in the description. By doing so, you'll also get 20% off an annual premium subscription, and they'll know that you came from us, which really helps us out.